Yo,
Yo,
meow, meow, motherfucker. How are you doing, brother?
good, man. Another day, just another day. But yeah, doing well. It's crazy. We're already back here. 2 weeks later have passed.
True. I mean, like so far we're being like pretty good on schedule. I mean,
Yeah,
how's life? How's
yeah.
life in this like boring NFT time?
No, it's good. I mean, it's like we always talk about, like, taking the boring times to continue working on the project. And no, it's been good though. I mean, summer's well underway. My son turned 1 last week. Which
Is it like custom to, or is it like normal to like congratulate like people in the U.S. with like your son turning 1?
Yeah, because I feel like it's more of an accomplishment for the parents rather than him, because he doesn't know what's going
Well,
on.
congrats, brother.
Yeah,
I mean, like that must have been special.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, a year of parenting is done. I mean, it's insane. Like, learning all about all of it, and so it was pretty cool to have that happen, and and it's cool. 4th of July. I mean, over in America, it's a big 250. You know,
You know what? Like events like that kind of make me envious for not being American. I would have loved to like join the festivities there.
It's a good time. It's a good time. Like,
Yeah, it must be.
sick. Wait, what? Do you guys have every country? I was thinking about it. Like, every country has an Independence Day. Do you guys celebrate it or no?
Not every country has an Independence Day, right? Like,
I guess like Italy's been a country for like thousands of years. So I guess, yeah.
it's true. It's true. I mean, like, in depending on where, I guess, like France has like Liberation Day,
Yeah.
right? For example, right?
True.
Fuck, I mean, like, our Independence Day, if you will, like, goes back to World War II, but like,
Yeah.
let's not fucking even go there. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, it's been good though. How you been, man? How's life?
Really good. I mean, still balls deep into NFTs. I went on like vacation for a little bit, went to France. I went so fucked up on wine and onion soup. I mean, like, Candy, like, I'm telling you, dude, like, I've destroyed pretty much every single French toilet on the way there and on the way back. Like, it's been horrible.
Dude, well, it's good you're back home. It's chill now.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what? Like, fact is, we have to pump some life into this market because, like, you know what? It gets me fucking mad. Like, I'm getting angry because, like, it's boring.
Yeah, it is, and it's like, let's see. I'm gonna open up our schedule, but I think it's also boring. It sucks because, like, there's other stuff that's happening within crypto. Like, obviously, like the Black Bull, Ansem, you're seeing like this kind of like meme coin thing going back, and then like Solana's, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's pumping, but Solana's up to 80, like, what, 85, like, so things are moving and shaking, but it feels like, NFTs aren't a part of that, which is frustrating for a lot of people, and so it's a weird time right now.
We'll get there though. Like, I'm not too worried about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like okay. Regarding you want to know something interesting though? I was talking to Sango earlier on, like, we're gonna talk about like the dump street, or like the dumpster from Cyberconks as well, right? And Sango basically said something like very interesting, that he basically mentioned how OpenSea, you can already buy Ethereum NFTs with Solana.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine what would happen if, like, they would enable like the reverse? Because, like, they have I can only assume they have all the infrastructure ready to go to actually like integrate Solana NFTs, right? Because they have already integrated Solana tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's like a big thing holding back the viability of NFTs in general is like, is the cross chain reality of it, and how if you want to buy an ETH NFT, I mean, you have to bridge, you still have to bridge tokens. Like, you know, it's like, at least like there's like a level of complexity to it, which kind of segregates ETH and Solana still. And it just makes it not as fun as from a consumer standpoint. Like the consumer does not care really. Like if we're talking about like if we're talking about like an ideal situation with NFTs, like the consumer should not have to care where their money is. Like they should just be able to like, buy something if they feel like it. And so it's definitely a problem. And I think it's like weird that like, Solana, like, we talk about how advanced, like this is the better chain, when you think about it, but it's like, why do we still not have that capability within the buying experience for people? But ETH does,
it's true. Well, yeah, I think like Solana should step up. And you know what? It's been like a while since I've thrown some shit at people. So here we are. Solana super team. Like I've been in touch with those MFers. I was like, hey, like I'm literally covering your ecosystem. I only do Solana NFTs. Let's mingle. Let's see if we can do something together. You want to know what they said?
Yeah.
They said no.
Is that it?
Dude, they literally said like, well, NFTs are not that much of a priority right now. And I was like, oh my God, like I cannot force you. I cannot hold you guys at gunpoint. Neither would I want to. However, that's beside the point. There's like a whole bunch of people, and there might not be like any kind of intrinsic value here, right? Within NFTs, because like it's the fun part of like the ecosystem, but it's a part of the ecosystem where a lot of people are spending funds and are actually looking to buy or looking to transact. So I think it's just kind of fucking retarded to not serve those people.
Yeah, I think what people need to like in order to convince people is actually just like make a deck and just be like, hey, I think that, like your point is like there is volume, like there is, and that's the thesis on medievals too, is it's like, hey, like there is a subsect of people that are interested, and that was like our thesis is like if we just keep on creating moments for people in NFTs, like they will participate, and they do. Like, medievals is a high participatory like subsect of people, and so I think that like people just need to be convinced. They need to see it, and it's like it's not always like, I think it's not going to be this crazy influx of cash in the way it was before, but it's like if you want to foster a community, especially on Solana, like they should see that like there is like that does exist, but I think a lot of these companies and a lot of these projects are just like focused on the big things, which makes sense, as they should. But it's like if you're building Solana, if you want to build like a community that's robust, you need to focus on everyone, not just a subsect.
It's true, but you know what? Like, so I made a deck, and it's actually I'll share you the deck like afterwards. Like, yeah, it's actually quite decent, dude. Like, I've done some like due diligence on like who is our consumer at the end of the day, right? Like, who are the broskies? Who are the kittens, right? Like, let's go there, folks. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a pussy. And like pussy is between 20.
Oh, you're muted.
Okay, there we go. We're talking about like a target group and target audience, which is basically ready to spend, like very similar to like your target audience, which would use Jupiter Exchange, for example, right? So
yeah.
I think the fun part with NFTs is that at the end of the day, when you're in gaming terms, like total time played with NFTs, it's a lot longer than shit coins, right? Because like at some point you just bounce. And I think with NFTs, it's just like a market untapped to where people want to entertained at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, it's more, and that is part of the issue, I think, from their perspective. Is like, if you know anything about NFTs, you know that the game is a game of entertainment. It is a lot closer to like gaming than it is to like finance, you know. And so I think a lot of people don't want to go into that category because they know how difficult it is to like to keep that up and to, you know, create fun user experiences. But you're right, like the retention is so much higher, you know. Like, I mean, there are people, like, I mean, I could go through my wallet and look at all the meme coins I have in there, and it's like all those Telegram chats are, you know, completely dead. I mean, I don't even know what they are, you know. I've like completely forgotten what these coins were. But it's like, I'll never forget a single one of the NFTs I buy. You know, I'll never forget that. You know, and it's like there is a certain level of retention that exists, you know, because of what it takes to be involved enough to like buy an NFT. Like, buying an NFT is such a higher friction than buying a meme coin, and like that's not a bad thing. Like, that's actually a good thing, because when you actually pull the trigger, it means you're like bought in on a level, like emotionally, you know.
That's true.
And so I think that's like presents a really interesting, you know, problem for companies to like have to get into. And that's why like Klanos is cool. Like Klanos is like still, you know, they're still outputting, you know, because it's like, to them, even though they're not making it really any money from royalties, like they know that they have true fans, and like those true fans are probably going to really help when they want to put out their TV show or put out their brand or whatever. And so it's just really hard to like navigate it. It's difficult, you know, especially when there's not a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of potential upside in the future, but like in the now, it's difficult, you know. So,
and I'm gonna challenge that, right? Like things can like change like in a heartbeat. Look at Ansem. Look at Ansem, right? Like meme coins were dead until like we slipped over banana peel, and like they went up like to what, 400 million.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know that Ansem, it wasn't just random, because like the way he's airdropping is very different than the way that token airdrops have gone historically in the past. And it's like, okay, like he had a really interesting idea on how to airdrop the tokens, and it's really freaking working. And so now it's like, okay, maybe there is a more sustainable way to do a meme coin, like to do a coin. So same with NFTs, like, you know, all it takes is one person to have like an interesting new idea. And so with NFTs, I'm like, you know, I don't know what that is. You know, I think yeah.
Sorry. No, sorry, I interrupted.
No, I think it's less of like a aha moment. Like, I think people are waiting for the Ansem, like, you know, the Ansem moment for us to go to 400 mil. I think it's more like consistency, you know, like building something out. Like all it takes is one really bullish announcement from like Klanos or Pudgies or Medievals or whatever, and then people are like super stoked, you know.
No shade on you guys, because I mean, like, I love Medievals and I put my money where my mouth is at the end of the day. But like in times of these, I do feel that our Indian second coming of Christ, aka Frank Digots, would be like the guy to just like take us to the promised land. I mean, like, judging on your facial expressions, that's probably not gonna happen. But like,
well, it could. I don't know, but I don't know if it would have the effect that people are wanting. You know, it's like, it's not that Ansem came and dropped a coin. It's the way he did it. You know, it's like it's like having an idea. Like if DGods is going to come back, which I think out of all of the, I think it has the upside for DGods is higher than most all NFTs. You know, because of the community and the history and everything. I think if DGods is going to come back, it's not going to be who is doing it. It's going to be what they're doing. You know.
But that's my point, because I think they've done it the best. Like, I do kind of feel though, Kenny, and I mean, like, you were part of DGods team. People kind of underestimated like the bright minds working there and like what they implemented, rather than just like, oh well, they implemented hype. I mean, like, if it were that easy, then I mean, that Bungie would not have burned out.
Yeah.
right? Like they were really good at what they're doing, and still, like if you're having a look at their marketing, their who the fuck gets people riled up like that?
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, nobody, you know.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's a chicken and egg problem where it's like, if you don't have people that are wanting to get bought in, then it's like the hype is hard to generate because there's nobody there. But then you need to have somebody that's going to create that, is going to bring people over. And what I think is, I don't think that's one person or one thing. I think it's a collection of people. It's like with NFTs, it's like it's different from meme coins in the sense that, like, again, the barrier to entry to buying a meme coin or getting involved is so easy, because there's no attachment to it. You just buy it and you sell it. NFTs is like, it's just a completely different product, and so it requires a different thought process. Where it's like, no, I think Solana, like, we're building up a group, we're building up a consistency where people can rely upon founders to, like, be building, continuing to, like, put stuff into these NFT projects, versus a meme coin. I have no expectation of Ansem. It's like, well, I hope it.
No. There's only gonna be like one. I mean, like, we all know where it's gonna end. Like, the only question is, when is it gonna end? But, like, talking about, like, putting stuff into other people, what about, like, when is Ansem going to profile picture a mid? I'm sure. I mean, like, you must have like I mean, he is mid at best. Let's just call it like it is. I mean, Candy, like, what do we need to do here, brother?
Well, I don't think I mean, I guess it could consist of drawing him a medieval PFP, but he's not gonna change his PFP. That's Ansem, dude. I could yeah, maybe, maybe he would.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's something worth trying. And if not, I'll happily, like, buy the Ansem 1 out of 1 off you.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It could be like we make it and then we auction it, and then with the proceeds, and we buy the Ansem token or something like that.
It's kind of true.
I agree with Cool Monkey in the chat. Like, we just need him to PFP and NFT in general. No one's PFPing NFTs.
It needs to be a mid. It's time for medievals to fucking do what they were intended to do. It's time for medievals to actually, like, resummon Johnny again. I mean, like, there's like big things coming, Candy.
Yeah, no, Johnny's very summoned. He's just not publicly summoned. Yeah. Or like the Jizzards, the collection that we're working on obviously is it's very, Johnny's put a lot more work into it than I have so far.
Is he allowed daylight, or is that, like, too much to ask?
Yeah, no, he's I don't even know where he's at, right? He could be in Uzbekistan right now, and I don't know, but he's
typical Johnny.
Yeah.
Typical Johnny. Well, no, you know what, like, because, like, we did, like, name this episode Jizzards. Let's get to Jizzards in a little bit. I would rather just, like, close off with those bastards.
We'll get to them later,
right? First things first, we talked a whole bunch of shit last time about Magic Eden, right? And dude, well, they got flapped a fucking lawsuit. They got I mean, I wouldn't say, like, I did some digging into it, but let me just, like, give you the TLDR, and let's just, like, go after. Right, so basically, investors filed a lawsuit. It's not a securities kind of thing, but it's basically on, like, the consumer side, to where consumers, investors feel like they were promised a whole bunch of shit, aka multi-chain, aka wallet, aka not fucking a casino, And I think it was shit. Who was it again? It's like Burla Law or something like that. Like there's like some semi-famous like crypto law firm who is like taking on like these kind of cases.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though. So like the 31st of July, we're gonna hear some more on like what the specifics are gonna be and like the timeline, etc. But I will tell you this. What I find very funny is that the ones who are basically like presenting the lawsuit, they're investors of like $100 in the ME token, $1,000 in the Magic Eden token, and like the biggest one was 2,000. I kind of thought to myself it was gonna be like fucking Solana Foundation, Big Brain Holdings, etc., but so what are your thoughts on this as a founder?
Well, I think it's hilarious. When I saw it, I was like, my first thought was, okay, who's behind it? And it's like, well, I don't think it has any grounding, for one. I think that's the issue, is like, I think we'll see what happens, but it's always the people who are the most pissed are like, I gotta be careful here, but like the people who invest the most money are usually the most based, and they're just like, like whatever happens, which I get, because you have a ton of money and you're like, when you're in the world of making investments, like you're already accepting that money's gone, especially when you're working with smaller stage companies or whatever. And so it's like a lot of those people that actually have a lot of the holding are like, they're probably like, as soon as they sent the money, they're not that they want to just throw money away, but like it's kind of not up to them. And so I think a lot of people who get pissed are the consumers, and those are the ones that probably are the ones that actually get screwed over the most. But from like a legal standpoint, I don't know if they did anything actually wrong. It depends on what they promised and what they didn't. I'm trying to remember way back when the Magic Eden token dropped, and like, I mean, I immediately sold. Which everyone should always do. Like there's never been a situation where you should hold the company corporate token.
No.
Because they're gonna. And I remember like when it dropped, there like you could stake it and you would get like some crazy 2x yield or something on like that. But it's like that was the only thing where I thought was actually promised, was staking and like getting a yield on it. But I don't remember any of the specifics on the token. But yeah, I think it is funny that the people who led the lawsuit are the ones who are, I mean, they're not even consumers. They're like, yeah, they got like $1,000 in it. It's like, you'd think it would be.
I will tell you this though. I don't think that you can basically let people like stake for 4 years and then just like change directions. I think that kind of, to basically speak in like legal terms, that makes you kind of a cunt, right? Like if you're gonna be like, hey, like lock these tokens for 4 years, and afterwards we're gonna like change not only like the company direction, but we're gonna pivot in the way that like the original plan is like totally abolished, then I also kind of feel that you should give other people like the possibility to just like unstake their tokens. I think that's very, very, very fair. I mean, like if you guys would stop making art and you would like start your own like garage, then I kind of would feel it would be very fair that like investors would have their way out, right? And I think like that's the silver lining here. But like it's
I think it's more okay. My thing with that though is like, I mean, you got to be tricky, and that's where I wonder about the legality of it, because like NFTs, buying an NFT is not an investment. You're not investing in a company. You're buying a product, and so like it's the same thing with a token. Like you're buying a token, you're buying a product predicated based off of, I mean, to be honest, nothing more than hype. And it's like, but if there's any utility associated with it, like that's another thing. But it's like, from Magic Eden's, like, that's why I wonder about the legality of it. It's like Magic Eden is like, they have a company, they're making no money off NFTs. So like, they're like, oh, from our perspective, we have to like pivot in order to make money. What do we do with our token? I don't freaking know. It's like, did they, like there's a lot of people who get like the rugging a token or whatever. It's like, yeah, you probably should do the right thing. You should do the right thing and make it right by your consumer. But it's like, does the lawsuit have any grounds? That's what I don't know. I doubt it. You know, that's after doing a little bit of like, I mean, I read the thing. I spent like an hour looking stuff up, but like, so not that much time. But it didn't seem to have any like substance in my mind.
No, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
Right? Yeah, I guess we'll see on the 31st. Yeah, but it is that's the tricky thing with crypto is like there's a lot of the stuff that we're buying is not an investment. It's not actually like, it's just you're buying a product, like you're buying a thing. But we want to like, the issue is a lot of founders will spin it as if you're kind of like involved in the progression of the company. But that's actually like literally not what it is, you know, like, so.
No, it's just like a 9 out of 10 times it's like a token for their ecosystem, right? One thing though, which it is hard to deny. I mean, like it was going to be like a governance token, for example. It's not a governance token if the governance voting is basically abolished, where it's just I think like the big question from my point of view would be like, are there any more like investors of substance who are gonna like join in the party and who actually will like start like throwing shit there?
Yeah, that's my question too, is like, if Magic Eden actually did something like illegal or wrong, then you would expect people to see. So I'm curious over the next like 2 weeks, or I guess 3 weeks until the end of the month, to see how that actually turns. Because I mean, it'd be pretty crazy if something actually had grounds and then they could like, Magic Eden had to like refund people or like revert some of its business.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening though. Like if I'm just being real, I don't see it.
Yeah, same. I don't either. Yeah, I'm curious, but I mean, it does make it does just leave the world open for more marketplaces or exchanges, you know. It's like,
it is true. And like talking about that, like I will tell you guys out loud, I sent like a message to Rico earlier on that, like, hey,
Rico's Orbeez, right? Yeah,
Rico is Orbeez. We're gonna go browsing through your exchange because they went live. And by the way, sorry, one thing though, I did throw a lot of shit at Magic Eden, but I should also like be real when it like credits come where they're when they're due. As far as I know, I do kind of feel that Magic Eden is good to use again. I'm not sure what happened, but I would say that it does seem to me that the exchange is like working again. And I kind of do feel like I'm obliged to like say that out loud, right? Because like last time they didn't say anything and it didn't work. I don't think they said anything, but now it does work, right? So anyone like following the show, just so you know, but proceed with caution.
I did notice that. I'm like, they must have paid their server fees or something, you know.
They might have like put more than one guy on it. Who knows, right? That would be crazy. Dude, Orbeez, they're live. Let's just get this shit started.
Yeah, take us through. I haven't spent too much time on there, so I'm curious myself.
It looks a little different, right? So Candy, like I think like it would be interesting to basically get your feedback on Orbeez and like what they're doing as a exchange, and like your feedback as a founder, right? Because I think like me from the consumer side, you as like a founder, this is great feedback. And also you've dealt with Orbeez, if I were to guess. What, like, how have you enjoyed that, or didn't you? Who knows?
Yeah, no, I'm pulling it up on my screen too. No, Orbeez is great. I've only had a great experience working with that team. Like Rico is actually like is helping us like fix our metadata issue, because like right now our metadata is on Magic Eden, which, you know, regardless of, you know, if Magic Eden seems to be working better or what, we still want to get our metadata onto on chain. And so like Rico is like personally helped us out with that, and he's like I think his big thing is like he really sees the value of working with the NFT projects, you know, which I appreciate. So like has like a personal, like that whole team too, not just Rico, like they have a personal relationships with a lot of the founders, and I think that's important, especially with like Magic Eden. Like there's always stuff that's coming up. Like for us, you know, we mess around with our metadata a lot with medievals. Like we're burning, we're minting, we're burning, we're minting, you know, we're doing all these crazy things. And like, I mean, I would reach out to the Magic Eden guys all the time and just be like, hey, like, how is this going to work? And like, they, you know, they wouldn't respond. And like for Primevals, like we wanted to have Primevals have its own separate place on the marketplace, you know, because it was a separate collection. And so, but then like we were going to be burning them, and I was like really concerned about if we could burn from the marketplace, because I was like, at the time I didn't know a lot about like indexing and all that, and they didn't like respond at all. And I actually think I brought it up with the Orbis team. It's like, hey, I want to do this. Will this work? And they're like, yeah, like you'll be fine, you know. And like it was cool. Like I could just DM the dude, you know. And so I think having that personal touch is like the most important thing from a founder, no matter what you're starting, whether it's an NFT project, a company, like DeFi, anything. Like you need to be in touch with the people that are like working with your product. So from that perspective, I like their team a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like especially when things are like, I mean, like we're so small right now, right? I think like the personal touch, the chef's kiss, whatever you want to call it. I think it's like really important right here and now.
Yeah,
I don't, dude. Like, there's only like a handful of active founders to begin with. Who are we kidding?
I know, and I mean, it's a tough time to be launching. That's the other thing, is I give them props for launching. I think like it probably is the best time to do it on the heels of whatever is going on with Magic Eden, and yeah, it's just like it's tough, you know. There's not a lot of people that are, I mean, and it's also hard because like even I super empathize with a lot of these people. Like for us, like, you know, Johnny and I, we're trying to make this collection. Like we're working on Jizzards, you know, and like it's us. Like, you know, we can't afford to hire other artists to do the collection for us, you know, or to like help us. And then like we also can't hire to like take care of other aspects of like the NFT project. Like we have our mod team and we have Bob, you know, who are incredibly helpful, but like, you know, the only people that are full-time on Infinite Fun across the board is just Johnny and me. And so it's like, you know, we're kind of close to the July 31st date, you know, for the collection for the launch of this collection. And so it's like, there's a lot of stuff that slips through the cracks because we're trying to make that happen. And so a lot of these projects, like they're doing cool things, like you know, they're working on stuff, but like they can't afford to hire. And so things like seem kind of quiet, and that's like not fun. And so I think like that's a big reason why a lot of these founders are just like, they're kind of in it because they're trying to build the thing, you know, but they don't have a team behind them, you know. And we're lucky, like we have a team, like we have and John, we have Bob, and then we have a really active Discord, and like, you know, you and I are doing these like live streams and stuff, and so a lot of people don't even have that, you know, which is tough.
It's true, but like at the same time, right? Like it is very easy. I mean, like you're quite accessible. I mean, like if people want to work together with me, if people want to sponsor me, if people want to have their banners right there, or if people want to have a shout out and just get on the show, you know where to find me, you know where to find us. We're all open for business, baby. That's just like the way it is. But like all jokes aside though, like it is kind of the chicken and the egg, right? And can you just like imagine Candy, like you're saying that I mean, like, God willingly so, we might like just imagine that we're gonna have like some kind of an Ansem-esque scenario for NFTs, to where all of a sudden you might be like, oh shit, I need to get someone for business development. Change it, like things like they change up like really fast in this market. Like if there's any market in the world who's able to pull that off, it is right here, right now.
Yeah, I do think so. I do agree. And that's why we continue to show up, you know, and it's like, and that's why I do want to be accessible. Like, I think there's certain seasons where I'm more and less, but like right now I answer all my Discord DMs, you know, like, and it's like, because there are, yeah, roughly, you know, once a week. I'll get to it. I'll get to you eventually. It'll take a few days, you know, I'm not,
It's true.
it takes like, you know, 4 business days, but I will get your
I'm just fucking with you, brother.
But a lot of people, you can't, like, they're not even online, you know, they don't even enter their Discord there, you know, they're not.
No.
And so I do make an effort, because I think it's important not only to just like, you know, be available, but you just never know who's going to have an idea or want to work with you. And like, same plug here, like if there's an NFT project that like, you know, you know, XDMs are terrible, by the way, you know, so hit me up in Discord, be annoying, dude. The people who get the best responses are the ones who are like always being like, yo, hit me up, yeah, you know, don't be polite with the shit, you know, just
I'm trying very hard to not get like drawn into like things here, Kenny.
Yeah. But yeah, if people are all down for ideas or they want to do any sort of collab, like we're always down. But yeah, it's tough, man, to be a founder. Like I fully empathize. Like, you know, I think that like if Johnny and I didn't have our parent company, Infinite Fun, I think this would be really hard, you know, and it would be discouraging. Because even like, you know, sometimes for me, I'm not gonna lie, like it is discouraging looking at the floor price for medievals. Like, you know, we do all these, I mean, we're giving away like thousands of dollars worth of prizes with the casino, and like, you know, people are destaking, or I mean, so they are staking and they're delisting, but like floor price stays at 0.8 to 1 SOL. And it's like, man, like, you know, I don't, like, that's can be discouraging. I know that with Jizzards, like it's going to be sick. And I think a lot of, again, just as it was for primes, like a lot of people are going to be like, all right, I'm logging back in for this. And like, there will be volume and like, that will be cool. But like, if we didn't have that, it would be hard, you know? And so it sucks being a founder in this space. And sometimes I'm like, why the hell did we do this? You know, but that's just being real.
It's true. Gwen, wait. Let's say Candy had the Ghost Prime for a reason. It's true. Gwyn's and 101 should get free token burns. I actually believe so. I think like you should give a lot more love to your 101 holders.
Yeah, I agree. I'll talk about this. I'm down to give people free shit. At this point, people should know that about us. You know, like we give everything away for free. But I'm actually down for, I don't know about Gwyn's. The issue with Gwyn's is there's so many of them. And so, because my goal is to burn 25% of the collection by the end of the year. And so in order to do that, there needs to be a deflationary aspect of all of our burns. And so, like right now, you know, with what we did last time is like you have to burn 2 mids to get a prime. It'll be pretty similar for the Jizzards. And so if we do give tokens for 1-of-1s, then it makes it so like the collection's not deflationary. It's actually like inflationary, and that's what I don't want. So you see what I'm saying? It's kind of a predicament.
I got like a cool idea for like 1-on-1. So
okay.
What about like if you would have like a certain 1-on-1, let's say like Ghost Star, or like if you have like a 1-on-1 prime, don't mind me shilling my own bags, folks, because like I got like, but what if you could actually like do it to where you would have like a token for like a reworked version of like a NFT, or like something which is just like, it doesn't need to be like free or to like inflationary, but just like incentives, just like nice to have perks once in a while, to where like because like I've been thinking about this, right? Like, I don't have a life, folks. Like, I think about these things. These things keep me awake at night. My relationship is suffering because of this. But I will tell you, what if it would be to where like, oh shit, who knows what's next for what like Infinite Fun team have been cooking for like the Ghost Arts, or for the like, right? Like, I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. I feel that, especially because like the people who own the one of ones are the biggest supporters of the project. Yeah, and like Kat, you're one of them. But a lot of like, basically, if you've been in, like, we're getting close to being a year old at this point. I mean, September 16th will be the first year birthday, but like, if you're in medievals this long and you love the project, you could probably own a one of one, just because like at this point, a lot of people who had one, either like they papered it or they traded it or whatever. And so I see that. I think that like doing some kind of special thing for them is definitely on the, like Johnny and I talk about it, like, you know, we as something to include in the roadmap for the future. And maybe there's a way to incorporate it into, I like the idea of it being maybe not like every one of one, but it's like a special one of one, or even like Cool Monkeys, like an exclusive game for the one of ones in the top 10, get a free token, like something like that's actually pretty. And I do agree with Legend, like the Ghost Stars are the souls, like they are, and
it's true.
From a narrative perspective, that's true, but also like they are the soul of the project, like the holders of that, you know.
It's true.
So, well, we still have time. Like, we're still figuring out, like, even the tokenomics of the Jizzards haven't been, like, you know, decided upon, because we're still figuring it out ourselves, which is fun. We'll probably be figuring it out until the day we draw, you know. Because, like I said before, last town hall, it's getting complicated. Like, we have, like, a ton of different characters, and it's getting complicated, so we have to like make sure everyone's like happy, and like, you know, but we have to make sure it's deflationary, and so maybe I'm being like too crazy. It's like 25% goal. Maybe it doesn't actually matter that much, but to me it matters, you know. Well,
you know, you're the artist, and I think like most artists are fucking batshit crazy, and it is what it is, Candy, right? Like, so if you want to do it, we are here at the mercy of your will. We don't have a will ourselves. We will like obey whatever kind of shit you guys are feeding us. If you're asking us to jump, the only thing like we'll be asking you is how high, right? That's just the way it is. But you know what? Like, I do think, I will tell you this though. I do think that if you would not get to like the 25%, I don't think it's the end of the world right here, right now, because I do feel that like inflationary narrative will be a lot more effective in bullish times. So if you would actually keep some ammunition in your back pocket to like make sure you're gonna be able to like keep this deflationary vehicle for like 2-3 years to come, I think that might be like a stronger narrative than you burn a bunch like in a bear market.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And it's like, I mean, this is literally a crazy idea that I'm not saying we're doing this. This literally popped in my head, but like, would it be the craziest thing to kind of run it back? Like, you know, like let's say we burn 25% of the collection, we bring the collection down to 3,800 or whatever, and then we do like an inflationary thing. We bring it back to 5,000, and then we just burn them all over again, and we just keep on. And then in a couple of years, the medieval itself, like the original, is like there's like 20 of them left, you know. But like the collection still like fluctuates between that. I don't know. It's like a crazy idea, like, because I do think it's gonna get to a point where, and I'm not saying we do this, but like my thought and my point is that like, it's gonna get harder and harder to get people to burn, and it's going to like burning is not always a good thing. Like at the end of the day, we want people to come into the project. Like we want more people to be involved with medievals. But I'm not gonna do the freaking like I mean, not to throw shade on you, but like I hate the second collection thing. I hate it. Like the inflating, like because a lot of people would make the argument, they're like, oh, we need to make a second collection to bring more people into the project. And it's like it's really just a way for you to make a ton of money, you know? And it's like my goal with medievals is not to make a ton of money. My goal with medievals is to make a fun holders experience. Like that is just always been the case. And so it's like, but if burning is getting in the way of people having fun with medievals, then we can flip it and figure out a new way for people to have fun and just like kind of always be seesawing between that, you know? So I don't know. I'm just like trying to figure it out. I think we'll see it through the year. We'll see it through January and then we can, you know, reassess. Johnny and I will reassess and see what we think, you know.
If you can like make it, I think like you might make it like inflationary. I don't think that it's the end of the world. I would only like beg to differ. Just make sure to do it whenever you're not gonna have like the negative effect, right? Because like at the end of the day, I do feel that like a big reason why medievals at the end of the day is like doing really well is because all the NFTs went down, but like medievals went up, right? It might not be as mooning as we'd be hoping for, but it's quite decent in terms of like on the native currency. So I don't know, like it's a luxury problem to have, and I think like the advantage is that you guys have basically experimented a lot, and I think like you by now you know what hasn't worked, and you could probably make somewhat of a good guesstimation on what might work or under what kind of circumstances it will work, right? Or fuck, I don't know, but like as long as you just don't negative IQ things, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is it's like honestly like it's not even, it doesn't even take that much IQ. It just takes like for founders or whatever, like you just have to really care about your product and care about your community. Like I think everything else will follow if that's truly your case. Like if you're doing it just as a way to like make money, then you're just gonna be greedy, and then you're actually just gonna make bad decisions too, because I don't think that like anything good can really come from like anything that's like, you know, extractionary. And so I think it's like if you just care a lot about what you're doing and you care about your community, like you care about like the way that they experience what you're making, then I think you'll make good decisions. So not that like there's a difference between like failing, like trying something with good intentions and it not working out, and then like you just doing something stupid as a way to like make a ton of money or like to get out of something, you know? So but with that being said, because we are getting close to the time, I might show some people kind of what the collection's looking like for the Jizzards, more like as a way to kind of show how we're thinking of it, because it's kind of fun. Like I think the collection's kind of sick. So I'll share my screen. Let's see here.
I think you meant Jizzards.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh no, shoot, my settings on Chrome are all messed up. Wait,
no worries, take your time. We don't have a life, and I can only assume that like anyone tuning in doesn't have too much going on either.
Exactly. Oh, actually, it might not work out because I'd have to quit and restart, which means I'd have to close the tab.
Can you maybe like share some like things with me so I
can
show?
Actually, what I'll do is I'll just screenshot this and put it on Discord.
Sure.
It would have been a lot cooler if I could have actually just shown it with my mouse, but whatever. It's all right, we'll figure it out.
Monkey is asking for gist polls. I'm not sure what he means by that.
I don't know what he means by that either. But yeah, if you pull that up, I can kind of explain it. And then I'll share. Some of these people have already seen, but But yeah, basically, like, so the collection that we're making is different from what we've done. Obviously, Primevals, if you guys remember, was like that was a 1,000 piece collection that was pretty much all one of ones. Like Johnny and I went in and we had to like shape and fit all of the clothing to fit that character. So this one's a little different because the majority of the collection is coming from like facial expressions. And so like there's going to be traits, like obviously like there'll be head traits and there'll be clothing traits, but it's mainly going to be like more expressions and like there'll be rarity within that.
Nice.
But it's kind of fun. I was gonna like drag all these different faces on top of the Jizzards, you know, but this is just a small selection. This is, how many is this? This is like 15 or 14. They'll be probably closer to like 40 or maybe even 50, you know? And so, but it's kind of fun because like we've never done a collection in this way. It's always been like very trait oriented. But with pixels, like we think like Johnny and I are like Loki, it's our favorite medium. Like Gwyn's are obviously pixels, and like, I mean, punks are sick, you know, like we did player 2 last year, which was like higher, like there was higher resolution. I think that was 32 by 32. I think these are 16 by 16.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the way we're thinking of it. So it's, each one is going to be, even like when we told people that Primevals were one of one, I don't think people really got the sense of that, you know, because there were different skins and like the traits were the same, you know. And so when we told people that, I don't think it really got across, which is fine. I mean, that wasn't, it's not like we're trying to do hard things just for the sake of it. But I think for the Jizzards, like they're going to feel very one of one. Like each one is going to feel very, very unique because there's a little less of them. There's going to be 888. And then the facial expressions are going to be very different. And that is what really differentiates a PFP, is like, if there's like a ton of different faces, and then the skins, there's going to be a ton of skins because layering is a lot easier with pixels. So yeah, some of these you guys have already seen, but like, it just gives a little bit of, you can kind of see it in a grid. Like they already, like all of these feel very different from each other. And this is only, how many skins is this? This is like 8 different skins, you know? And so if you imagine like there's 50 different skins, 50 different facial expressions, like each one's going to feel different. It
does beg the question, are there like any true one-on-ones in the collection?
Yeah, there's going to be one-of-ones for sure. You know it. And there will be rarity. Like there's the background, like the star background on the left, like that guy's rare. Like the crown is super rare. There's certain skins that'll be pretty common. Like there will be grails in the sense of what people are expecting, but it's going to be more like, my hope is that people will spend more time on like secondary, like, you know, when Primevals launched, Primevals had its own marketplace, but I think people were mainly just trying to get primes. Like they were just burning they were saving the ones that they'd minted. My hope is that people will actually, like, you know, go on secondary, find a Jizzard that they love, and then they'll that one. Because I think because the collection's getting smaller, it's like more precious. Like people like don't want to, like, it's harder to burn 2 medievals now to get one thing. And so we want to do the type of thing where, like, you go on secondary and you find one that works for you and that you love, and then you can go and like burn that instead of just like mass burning a ton. But so Colin's asking how many can be minted by holders. So it's the same mechanics, same minting mechanics as it was for Prime. So if you have, let's say, 10 medievals in training, that means that you have the ability to mint 10 Jizzards. Now, the reality is that we have like 1,800 medievals in training or something like that. Like we have an insane amount, and so not everyone is going to be able to mint their full amount, which is fine. Honestly, I think that's okay. especially because they'll probably trade pretty cheaply on secondary anyway, as primes did. Like,
What do you
primes,
think so?
yeah. Well, when primes minted, primes like the floor for primes before the burn started was like 0.2 or even 0.1.
Oh, like that, yeah. Because like they're still being burned, right? Like,
Exactly. So if you don't mint one, then you could like spend, I don't know what 0.1 soul is. It'll probably be like $8. You know, you could. So if you don't mint one, it's not the worst thing in the world. But we want to, and then another thing is we want to allow everyone to be able to mint one, and so there'll be a cooldown period. So if you mint one, you have to wait 30 seconds, and you can mint another, and like that's just a way to help out the little guy so that everyone has an opportunity to mint.
I think that's actually like, I mean, like, I think it's actually a good thing.
Okay, I'm glad you think so. But even then, like I had 30 medievals in training, and I was able to mint like 15 primes. Like I minted like a lot, you know. So even if like you have a bag of mids, like I think you'll still be able to mint a lot of the Jizzards, you know. But
Okay. Is there like anything? See if I saying 30-second timer killed me off.
yeah. Maybe we'll make it like 15 seconds or something. I don't know. We'll mess around.
Well, is there like any more intel you can basically give on like the planning side of things? So we know it's the 31st, right? Which is a Friday. Fuck. It's on a Friday. Like, is there any kind of, is it going to be European friendly hours, or is it going to be like America first again?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we'll probably do a like 5 a.m. PST, because so that's like super early for America, but not like middle of the night. And then that means that Asia's awake, and then it's evening for Europe.
That's actually pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. I think the only time that gets messed up is it Australia? Australia, that would be like 10 p.m. like 11 p.m. But that's not terrible, you know, like that's bearable. So I think that like 5 a.m. PST is probably the sweet spot. So that's probably what we'll aim for. Yeah, I think that's what we did for Painted Squares, and that's what we'll do soon for Painted Squares again, is that same time. But and then as for the date, I mean, that's the date that we're shooting for. You know, we're from a tech perspective, it's easier because we've done it already. So like last time it was hell for me. I felt like I was in purgatory for like 2 weeks. I was like so stressed about it. Oh my gosh. So I think it'll be easier this time. And then a little different. So after Primeval's minted, there was 3 weeks where every day there was a random earn for 3 weeks. For this, it'll only be a week. So roughly every day, about 100 will be burned randomly a day, and then at the end, it'll be a little more than that actually. And then at the end, that'll last for 7 days instead of 21 days. So it's going to be a lot more accelerated.
Interesting. I must say though, I didn't mind it like for 21 days. There might be like a reason on your end, but like I do kind of feel Candy, the longer you can stretch that kind of period, the longer you're going to like retain the attention, right? Like it's I mean, like if you guys have decided upon it, who am I to dispute? But it's something to consider. It's good content, and people loved to actually like I lost my mind for like 3 weeks straight whenever I got fucked over by you guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was fun. I think it's all experimentation. I agree. I liked the 3 weeks. Especially, I think the hardest part with it is I do think it just went a little too long. I think obviously at the beginning there were technical difficulties where the burn couldn't actually start for like 4 days. And so I think that slowed down some early momentum. And so, I mean, I think I'm always open to getting good arguments. I think the argument accelerating it to a week was just one, see what would happen, experiment on it, and then would it actually get people to burn more medievals? Like if you have some grails, like, and you have only a week to save them, you might just like screw it. You might save all of them, which is means like there's more burns, which is better. This is what I want. I want more shit burned, So, so I think that's the experiment. That's the idea. So,
then go for it.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll go for it. Colin's asking another question: do primes or orcs count more than floor mids? The answer is no, not right now. So, you can burn. I mean, there's going to be some NFTs that are going to be able to not have to burn 2 for 1. We haven't disclosed that yet, but right now, what I will tell you is that won't apply for primevals. So right now, primes you can use primes to burn for painted squares, which there's gonna be a launch for that here soon. But if you want to save a Jizzard with primes, you'll have to burn 2 primes, which I don't think anyone's going to do that. So
I think that was, I mean, well, what can I say?
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news there, but primes, they'll come back. Like they were the main character here a few months ago. But there are other NFTs in our collection that you will be able to just burn 1 for 1, for sure. But I'm not gonna tell you what those are quite yet. So, also, this is founder privilege here. People need floors. I have lots of floors. So if you have grails that you're looking to trade,
dude. I'm happy to trade grails. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, there's a few that I'm looking at specifically, but maybe I gotta look at your collection again.
Dude, come. Let me just like send it. I got the only real twins. How about that, Candy? And you're not gonna burn them. If so, I will find you in real life, and I will autism the living fuck out of you.
Yeah, I think I'm actually my opinion on the twins has changed. I like the twins. I'm down to keep them.
Well, thank you for not jeopardizing my assets, for fuck's sake.
Okay, yeah, I just saw the Discord message with your collection. Yeah, you got some bangers in there. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I might hate you.
Wait, sure, no grills here, only mid-rare zone. There you go. Note bad. We haven't gone through the dump street from Cyberconks. I think we went through pretty much everything. Let me maybe just get really quick into that, Candy, on the bigger picture. Cyberconks, they basically released an NFT engine, right? As you'll probably know. Now let's not get into the specifics, but basically it's just mechanical vehicle regarding their new token, which is going live. Cyberconks, the only thing I kind of want to touch upon is that Cyberconks obviously is a Ethereum collection, right? Now they went for Solana. You as a founder, do you think that could have any kind of implementation for NFTs on Solana, or activity on Solana? Because a lot of Ethereum heads are going to be yapping on the Salami blockchain for probably the first time. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that anytime I'm very pro cross chain. I think that there's the right ways to do it, and then there's wrong ways to do it. But and the reason I'm pro on cross chain is because I think Solana is a better chain. And so when people come over here, they're gonna just have a better user experience, which is good. Not that I'm like anti-ETH either.
Mhm.
I think a lot of Ethereum projects have done really well. I think part of that is because of, you know, kind of the aesthetic that goes along with ETH being more of like a high finance or whatever, which I think is BS. But I do think that it's a lot. I think it's better for ETH projects to kind of like move away from their identity being about their chain and then worry more about like, oh, there's other stuff out there, like, you know, there's better user experiences for their customers, like, you know, which is Solana. And so no, I think it's cool. I'm curious to see what CyberKongz is going to do with it. I mean, they're like a NFT staple. You know, they've gone through kind of the whole, you know, the whole thing to get as a project. So I think it helps. I think it helps in general. I'm pro Solana, but at the end of the day, I'm pro NFT. Like that's more what I'm worried about. And like, so if anyone's doing anything that's like cool for the space in that regard, I'm very excited about it. So I'm curious to see.
Would you? I mean, like, DGOTS went like cross chain like a few years ago, right? Would you ever like consider like moving, not based on like if anything like disastrous would happen, but more so like would you experiment with like those kind of things as well, or not really per se?
It would have to make so much sense for the customer, for the user. And I think that's why people get mad at Frank about bridging, but like we forget Solana went down to $8 from 260. Like, you know, like there was real reason to be fearful that Solana was gonna die because a lot of investors were, you know, really scared. And so I was a part of those conversations. Like the whole goal with that was to make DGOTS live on. Like who gives a fuck about what chain you're on? Like DGOTS needs to live on. And so it was like that was the thought. It's like, okay, how can I make sure my holders do right and like their bags go to zero thought. And so if there was a reason for us to go to try and experiment something on ETH, then we would be down. I just think there's not enough like upside to do that right now. And I don't know what that would look like. I think right now, like everything that we want to do requires us to have good user experience on chain. Like
True.
we're constantly burning all the time. So it doesn't make sense for people to be having to pay $30 in gas fees, you know, to burn. It's like, it doesn't make sense. But if there's like some kind of thing in the future and like it makes sense, then yeah, I'm super down because I'm pro NFT. But right now, I think that's why I think Solana is the best chain for NFTs, is because it allows you to do cool things like what we're doing, you know. Yeah, I don't know about. I think that the marketplaces is less on us and more about their indexing. Am I right?
Yeah, they just like. I would love to actually have like someone from OpenSea on, or like, right, like, and ask them the question, what do you need? Like, why not just like push the reverse button as well?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, again, it's like, even, you know, with OpenSea, like it's just hard to compete on everything that's happening over with ETH. But yeah, I guess I'd have to do some research on OpenSea and how they deal with like cross-chain NFTs and stuff like that, because they have like meme coins, like they have like Solana meme coins that you could buy on there, but I think it's different for NFTs. So
For sure.
but yeah, I'd be interested, you know. But right now, I think we're good over here, you know. Things are good. I'm not gonna bridge.
I hear you, and thank God, dude. Like, very quick before we turn off, I just have an idea. We usually go for like the first and the third Tuesday, right? Does it actually make sense to actually move this one up to the fourth? Because like whether you're gonna like mint on like the 31st, or who knows, like the second, first or second, that way we have like a window open for like, we can have Prime Week, but like Jizzards Week.
Let me see. Wait, what date are you looking at?
It's like 21st of July. Like we're supposed to to go there, but like this would move it to like the 28th. And like who knows, like if you guys want to do like something special, we might collab on a something like quite nicely to where we have like a shitload of content like leading up to the mint.
Yeah. Here's what we should do is like, I mean, my thought is like, let's stick to 2 weeks, but then let's do a special thing throughout that week. Like whether it's, maybe it'll be the 30th on like that Thursday. That way it can be like a special Jizzards thing, you know, because if we do it the 28th, then that means that like I won't have an opportunity to update people on stuff for like 3 weeks, which feels a little long for people, you know. I mean,
sure, I mean, like, dude, I'm the more content, the better, right? I'm a very simple soul in that sense. So,
yeah, I same here. I think like let's do something. Let's keep the schedule, and then we can do a cool like Jizzards week type thing leading up, depending on like when we're shaping up for the 31st that Friday, but we'll have more information as we get closer.
I can like feel it to where we're gonna have like these cross-dress sessions with my wizard's hat and like the monk's outfit, etc., and I'm ready.
I gotta look at my chainmail again because chainmail is only for special occasions, so
I think like you gotta send me a chainmail just for
I'll send it.
Brother, I think like that's kind of it. Like anything on your end?
No, just I appreciate you, man, and keep up the work, bringing NFTs to the masses. Right now to our small little group of masses, but eventually to the world.
Well, it's true. Like in like a year from now, they won't be fucking laughing at us anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I think we're getting through it. We're getting in it. When I think about this time last year, let's see, I just had my son, so I wasn't working, but we were making the collection, making medievals, and you could kind of sense that things were going to get worse, and they obviously did. And I think that like we're gonna move out of it. I think it's gonna keep on keeping on.
We just gotta survive, and it's cool monkeys. We just gotta keep on keeping on, and at the very least until Jizz week, and I'm excited for that.
You won't hear me saying that word. You're not gonna hear it. My son might hear me. It's not.
No comment there. Guys,
right,
thank you so much for tuning in. Candy, thank you so much. Onwards and upwards, and I'll talk to you in like 2 weeks from now.
Yes, sir. Hopefully sooner. All right, see you guys.
See ya.